I'm back. It's currently 8:37 p.m. Sunday night, November the 3rd, 2 days before the election. I'm going to move forward then in explaining my metaphysical skill. And I think what I'll do is I'll do it bits and pieces at a time because the rush is on. For whatever reasons, maybe it's because of Jay on the verge of crossing over and he's putting forth his energy again, which he promised he'd do at some point to give people an extra dosage. I don't know what he said, 10%, 20% of his energy. And I'm going through quandaries of new experience of seeing this energy, the frequencies that I can articulate, I can build, I can create myself. And in the previous video, I talked about some interesting reading that one could obtain to help verify what it is I'm doing as the science, the metaphysical science, to what it is I've been able to acquire and or to lead me on with developing an ever broadening skill base. I still hesitate because this time it's not because of the cold weather, which I typically have been filming under at times, but because just for whatever reason I just fade in and fade out. Older age, I don't know what it is, but my videos are more directed towards the older generation. I'm 72 right now. I had my crank up at 65. And it's been a really tough ordeal for me. And you know, if you're part of the Spiritual Foundation family membership, there aren't a whole lot of people talking about, a senior style crank up. What that has done for a person, how they've gone through the process of metaphysical awakening. But there's the nuance that I'm particularly interested in explaining what I've been going through that would be helpful even for the younger generation. Because nuance and feeling the soft intricacies of the stuff developing in myself is the key that everybody, I'm assuming, uses. I don't know anybody else out there in a metaphysical world, but it's the key to evolving quicker, being able to feel it and then define it, hopefully with a scientific identification that I've been lucky enough to identify my abilities with. Again, skills. I prefer to say skills, but I'll refer to it as abilities at times. So, that being said, I'm going to move forward and just at the start here, I want to try and keep my videos to around the 15 to 20 minute, hopefully 15-minute time frame. People's attention wanders after 15 minutes. I appreciate the time that you're giving me to view my videos. Without further ado, I'm going to say that, which I haven't said before, back last year when I removed my videos September, October of 2023, my training videos, I did so because I had watched a video by Penny Bradley, and in it she described something that I just about accomplished inadvertently, and that is, as I've said in my training videos, I started out with feeling a chi ball and I tried to work that energy up my arm. Automatically, it triggered the continuation of feeling this evolving energy in me that jumped to my head. And actually, I had articulated the frequencies that would have destroyed my hearing. That freaked me out. It felt like a knife poking me in the eardrum. And when I felt that, I realized that what Penny Bradley was talking about in her experience, her Mars experience with her kinetic energy, she was able to repel spiders, these giant 12-foot spiders that had entered the cafeteria where she was at, and she was able to kill them. And she explained the metaphysical kinetics behind that just briefly. And I instantly knew that this ability I have could possibly do that. So in other words, I started to avoid pointing my energy at my head, and fortunately it started to drift down through the rest of my body, and I've explained that I maybe once before where went down to the breast area, jump ship, went to the feet, came up, kind of didn't hit me in the crotch area, but then flowed briefly across my head, down my spine, and kind of came up and settled there in the brain and floated downward. I removed the videos principally, those training videos principally because I had actually gone through the nuance and the exact details of what I was feeling as this energy was advancing forward in me. I didn't want some jerky teenager picking up on this stuff and trying to prove himself to his friends that he's almighty powerful, and this stuff is powerful, even at my juncture of advancement. I haven't completed the actual development, the total development of what I can do. I can see that, but just the idea that I might be inadvertently teaching someone to do harm to themselves and another person. And I didn't even talk about the fact that yet that this energy I directed at the optic nerve, and it wasn't that I was trying to do these two things. It just happened. And I think the third thing was when I was able to put the energy on the inside of my teeth. That's an experience too. You know that energy is in there. It's something I've never experienced before, and maybe you haven't. But it told me that, hey, there's something about what I'm doing. Hold on there, but be very cautious about where you're articulating your frequencies. And yeah, I can comb my hair and wash my face, trim my beard, and all that. But it's a quick gesture forward. I don't linger on this stuff. Only because I don't want to articulate those frequencies that my ears and optic nerve can pick up and connect with and cause me great pain. I'm lucky to have my sight, my and my hearing, to be honest with you. So I really hesitated for a long time thinking about and thinking about moving forward and maybe coming back and pushing these videos forward. I can still do it now because what I've come to determine is I've got the frequencies in me that Jay has given me. And that is distinctive in that even if someone were to try and, I believe, in replicating the methodology and technique I've used to cultivate this ability, skill in me, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. There's got to be a certain level of power behind their effort. And maybe there are people out there who can do it, but uh, you know, this is something. This is something to be careful about. And so I'm not even sure even if the consultant energy, the people who've been trained to offer DNA ICUCs to people through training from JSX, I don't even know if they can give the right frequencies to do what it is I'm doing. And I'm not special. I'm not the cat's meow. I just happen to fall into this path of this type of metaphysicality, and for whatever reason, I've often thought actually that maybe it's a residual skill that I learned from being in the SSP. And I guess what do? There's all these different agencies out there, DARPA being one of them. Maybe I was trained in DARPA and then passed on, sold to SSP. I can't keep track of this stuff that Will Nutter, aka Johann Fritz, talks about, and um, Bill Penny Bradley, and who else out there? Super Soldier Talk. What's that guy's name again? My mind. Late at night here, and I'm, I guess, not being able to think as clearly as I should, like during the daytime. So, in any case, moving forward, I've got this energy going through me, and it's a tough thing to explain simply. At this point, my body fasciculates all the time. The ruffling underneath the skin. That's the symptomology. One of the symptoms of what I experience all the time, and it comes out more when I'm in bed. I typically cough because this energy affects my pineal energy area between the forehead and the throat. Once I hit it, I start gagging, particularly when I'm talking to my friend Ed on the phone. My fingers, of course, are cupped forward and the fingers are pointing at me. What is it that I want to pass on to people who are interested in developing this skill? And so far, I haven't even talked about what I can do with it, huh? I can and have been able to intensify, which Jay's energy does to begin with, intensify the remote viewing ability, skill. And although Jay says there's no such things as portals, I think I saw him speaking about in another video recently. It feels like there's a hole right there, and I can go into Mount Hood, and I've talked about this already. That's one area that I haven't explored further. In other words, being able to remote view and intensify the experience with this energy, which it does. Probably what I need to do is go back and review again some of the nuance of what I'd like to explain now to make sure in my other previous videos I haven't talked about this stuff. It's very difficult to stay uh, in line with the sequence of how I'd like to present myself because my life is just so erratic at this point. And again, with a thinking issue I constantly have with being dizzy, making these eternal frickin' excuses. I hate it. I just want you to know I care, basically. So let me part company. I may or may not upload this to my channel because essentially I've said maybe most of the stuff in previous videos. So I want to make sure I'm not just reiterating something that that you have a grasp of anyway. I'm gonna sign off. I don't even think I'll upload this because there's just too much to be concerned about that I haven't considered. I'm being listless here.